To be honest, it's been a while since I've been this excited to share a project that I think is possibly the next Kaspa. And I say that lightly because you can't really compare anything to Kaspa, but I want to compare this project in a few certain ways to the likes of Kaspa when it comes to revolutionary technology, a revolutionary approach, and then lastly, something that is available, decentralized, and fair launched. And what you're going to find out in today's video will probably blow your mind. This project essentially had its genesis just 2 days ago, and somehow very few people know about this project, and yet it's already insanely huge. I don't know how else to say how much traction it's gained in the last 2 days, except to talk about it in today's video. So if you're new here, my name is Alex, talk about crypto news, crypto passive income. If you enjoy content like this, you enjoy getting in projects early, consider subscribing. Enjoyed this video, smash up the like. Without further ado, let's jump in the video. So just yesterday, an article came out about Sam Altman, who is the CEO, kind of co-founder of ChatGPT, how he's trying to raise $7 trillion, trillion with a T, in order to fund chip making and the infrastructure and the operation side, if you will, of AI. And it's just one of those numbers it's really hard to really comprehend. There's no way I can personally wrap my head around $7 trillion. It's hard for me to wrap my head around 7 billion, 70 billion, 700 billion, but $7 trillion is absolutely, it's not ludicrous. It's just insane. It's huge. It's a ton of money, but it just goes to show, and it makes a point to the fact that AI and AI computing is really going to be a key focal point of the next decade. It's going to be one of those things that a lot of us, especially those born before 2000, who were born with the internet already existing, is going to be kind of our norm day to day. But the problem that you're going to see with AI as it stands right now is AI, to a large degree, through something like ChatGPT, is very centralized, and things that are oftentimes centralized have been manipulated in the past, and they will continue to be manipulated in the future. It's one of the reasons the US government is so concerned about AI and is looking to regulate AI by really trying to shut it down and limit it to a few players. And it's caused an uproar in a large part of the community that even was involved in Bitcoin and banking the unbanked, essentially. And that kind of is the starting point for today's video about a project called Morpheus. Now, Morpheus AI is an extremely intricate project. It's very interesting, but in its bare bones, its mission is to accomplish decentralized AI. Now, the whole idea behind this, and you can get really technical about what LLMs are, what decentralized open source AI will look like. But today's video is just pretty much to give you a brief overview of what Morpheus has done already. Its genesis was just 2 days ago, what is planning to do, and how early you are and how to get involved. And that's really going to be the key basis for today's video. But essentially, Morpheus is peer-to-peer network for generative AI. It essentially allows you to fully control your AI. And there's a few aspects to it, but we'll get into that more in this video. It's also fair launch. It's open source. There's no pre-mine. There's no token allocations. And that is one of the key factors for projects like this. And that's why I had that kind of correlation, if you will, to the likes of Kaspa, and why so many people love the idea of Kaspa. And that is one of those things that carries to the Morpheus project as well. So what is Morpheus AI? It is for the first truly decentralized peer-to-peer network of personal smart agents to democratize AI for the general public. Decentralized network enables anyone to connect and access their personal AI agent to trade crypto, execute smart contracts, use DeFi services, and leverage the vast capabilities of AI in a permissionless manner. So the same way that Bitcoin and what you saw with the likes of Ethereum, when you have decentralized applications and when you have the control of when you look at the Bitcoin network, the freedoms that it also brings, essentially Morpheus AI is attempting to create infrastructure that as special agents work on your behalf, essentially to operate and utilize the different ecosystem smart contracts and different applications it is connected to. So essentially you have an AI agent acting on your behalf in AI and in the internet in and of itself. So it's a very interesting approach. In essence, they say Morpheus network allows users to operate their own AI agent, communicate with it, perform tasks according to their demand and preferences. This development is akin to how Google's search engine opened up the internet to the public in 1990s, but for artificial intelligence. To be honest, I was not there when, or I was born when the internet was born. So I can't go back and have that experience of what the internet was like in late 1990s, early 2000s. But I know from people who've had that experience have talked about how amazing Google was because it allowed everyone to access everything. But the problem that you have with Google is even though it offered that end to the means was through centralization. So essentially what Morpheus AI is attempting to do is create that availability, that openness, that access, but through decentralized means. So as we get more into Morpheus, if you want to do a deep dive into exactly what this ecosystem is doing, I will leave links down below so you can check out the tokenomics. You can check out the white paper as well. I will leave all these links down below. But who is behind Morpheus? Morpheus is the white paper was created by 3 anonymous individuals, but there are key contributors to this project that, to be quite honest, are some of the, if you will, OGs in the crypto space. David A. Johnson and Eric Voorhees are 2 contributors to the network. Both are proponents of decentralization and early crypto adopters. Johnson created the framework for dApps in 2013. Voorhees is famous for being an early Bitcoin adopter, creating Satoshi Dice and founding Shapeshift. If you want to do more research on these 2 individuals, feel free to do so. But in the end, you'll come to recognize these individuals having been key contributors in the early aspects of both Bitcoin and decentralized applications just in general. These aren't people that are for one crypto project or another. They're more focused on decentralization as a whole in fighting for that, whether that is through applications or whether that is now in AI. Now, to get an idea of this fair launch, the process started on February 8th. We're talking about 2 days ago is when the fair launch of the Morpheus project began, or the MOR token. Tokens will start accruing from this time, but aren't transferable for 90 days. So for 90 days, you are able to contribute ST ETH, but you won't be able to withdraw more tokens after that. We'll talk about this in just a second. But the network itself is not live yet. This is how early you are to this project. There's no airdrop, there's no token sale, there is no NFT. Now, there's 4 processes, or there's 4 factors to Morpheus AI. The first is capital, the second is coders or contributors, the third is compute, and fourth is community, what they consider the 4 C's. So the capital portion is the very first. In 2 days, and I'll refresh this just make sure we're fully up to date on where things are. There's been almost 43,000 ST ETH that has been contributed in just 2 days to the launch of this project. Now, to give you an idea of what the value of that is, it's well over $100 million in staked ETH that have been contributed to the likes of Morpheus AI in just 2 days. This is just to show you how big this has gotten from Genesis 2 days ago. What you essentially get for the next 90 days is the tokens are being distributed equally based on the amount of the STETH you contribute. You can unstake your STETH after 7 days if you'd like, but the more tokens are distributed on Arbitrum, you won't be able to receive those until after essentially day 91. Now, if you want to learn more about the proof of contribution, if you want to learn more about the compute aspect, this is going to come after the initial stage, which is the capital portion itself. This is going to come because you have to have the more token in order to transact in the first place. So in the next 3 months, we're probably going to be looking at May or so when the computing aspect of this is going to be available. If you want to learn more about the compute model itself, this was written by Eric Voorhees, who is one of those key contributors, as I mentioned earlier. If you want to learn more into what they consider the Yellowstone compute model, feel free to check it out down below. I will leave a link to this as well. But it essentially allows people to run GPUs in order to provide computing resources, similar to a lot of other projects that you've probably seen before in the past. That said, there are going to be certain things that are going to be a little bit different with the likes of Morpheus AI as compared to Render or other projects that you may see out there. For those who are curious as to when you're going to see some of the computing, this was posted in the Discord. Compute has to come after more tokens are sendable, claimable. Otherwise, there's no way to pay for inference in this system. The more rewards are just sitting in the smart contract. Compute needs decentralized router to get built first in the next 90 days. So that's why they're expecting the compute model aspect of this being live around the May timeframe. If you want to look at the token rewards in economics, it's split equally between the four. 24% going to community, 24% going to capital, 24% going to compute, 24% going to coders, and then 4% that is set out for protection funds. So if you want to look more into the tokenomics of Morpheus, feel free to check it out. But they do have the whole emission schedule and everything that applies to this. And if you want to test Morpheus, it is available for download both on macOS and for Linux. And if you want to do some details and dives into the white paper, I will leave a link down below for the white paper itself. But realize it is something quite complex from a specific aspect being AI. But essentially, the whole idea behind Morpheus is to make AI extremely simple and the ability to navigate. And you don't have to a degree, the same way that the internet very early on was very difficult to navigate and to operate on, unless you knew code, you knew how to properly navigate. Google simplified the process. And essentially, Morpheus AI is looking to simplify the process with smart agents to act on your behalf when it comes to acting upon smart contracts and different decentralized applications within the crypto space. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this specifically. This is an extremely new project. I highly recommend it, doing some research due diligence yourself. I will leave a couple of video links down below if you want to do more research into this project. But to be honest, I am super excited about what this could possibly bring. I know AI, I know computing is going to be absolutely huge in the next decade. And this could be one of the blue chips, if you will, when it comes to decentralized AI computing in the future. Leave your thoughts, comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, smash up a like. You enjoy content like this, consider subscribing. And until next time, guys, stay invested.